How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to another week of Bleeding Blue with GSU here on Atlanta Sports Unlimited. I'm Christian Crittenden, here with you, like I am every week, bringing you the best and latest coverage there is of Georgia State athletics. Now we're just about 31 days away from the start of Panther football. I know everyone is excited to get back to Center Park Stadium and see their favorite team kick off the year. Obviously, the first matchup is against Army. That'll be on September 4th. And then we got North Carolina and Charlotte. So that was in part one of the schedule breakdown. We did those games. Now we're going to have part two. Before we get into part two, though, make sure you subscribe. Where you're going to watch this video, Atlanta Sports Unlimited on YouTube. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a dislike if you don't like what you see here. And follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter. So now for part two of the schedule breakdown, there is a trip to Auburn to take on another SEC foe. It seems like the Panthers have one of these every year now. And after that, there's a big matchup against App State, which is one of two really big games against East Division foes. And then they're going to round out the first half of the season with a trip to Louisiana to take on the ULM Monroe Warhawks. Now about that trip to Auburn. Remember last time the Panthers played an SEC team on the road? I'm just saying. Nah, but this may be a bit different though, because that Tennessee team was a complete mess. Now Auburn, on the other hand, they kind of got things together. They're not the greatest team in the SEC, but they're always solid. They're always going to give a good fight, no matter who they're playing. So they're led by Bo Nix, who is now in his junior year at the helm of the Tigers, and he's solid. He's not great. He's not the best quarterback in the SEC. He's not the best quarterback in college football, but he can get the job done on any given day. In fact, his first career game, he threw a game-winning touchdown against Oregon. So you never know what you're going to get from him. He's a dual threat guy. He's not the most accurate, but he can make some plays on deep balls, so the Panthers are going to have to be aware of that. And then he can scramble as well. He has pretty good legs for a quarterback, so Panthers are going to be on high alert. And Auburn likes to pound the rock as well. They averaged about 4 yards a carry last year on the ground, but they got a pretty big O-line. They got a pretty good running back down there in Tank Bigsby, so look out if you're Georgia State. You're going to be able to stop the run if you want to beat Auburn this week. Force Bo Nix to pass, and you're going to like your chances there. Now, next week, this is when it really matters, because beating Auburn is good for the program. The trajectory of the program shows that they've come a long way in their short time as a football program, and it's another feather in the cap of a Sun Belt team for beating an SEC opponent. Another one. They've beaten several now, so that'd be good. But the game against App State is the one that really matters. And the reason it matters is because it counts for conference play. Now, I mentioned earlier, it's the first of two really big matchups against East Division opponents. Now, I'm not knocking anyone else, because I know they have a really big matchup with Georgia Southern. Obviously, the rivalry, you can never predict anything in that because you never know what can happen. So there's no slight to anyone. But if Georgia State wants to win the Sun Belt East, they're going to have to go through these two teams. They're going to have to go through Sun Belt, later on Coastal Carolina, because Coastal won it last year, and App State was, I believe, second. And those are the two teams picked to win the division. So it's only natural that this is one of the big matchups. But back to the game. It's going to be a fight. App State returned 17 guys. They got 14 super seniors who took advantage of the playing an extra year, similar to what the Panthers have. So it's going to be an absolute fight. Now, the one advantage Georgia State may have in this is that App State, is breaking in a new quarterback. His name is Chase Bryce. He's formerly at Clemson. He was at Duke. Now he's hoping that his third time here at App State is a charm. He's the starter right now, but things could change, obviously. But it looks like, unless he has a complete meltdown, that Georgia State will be facing him. So they could be the one advantage they have is breaking in a new guy. But with Georgia State losing last year 17-13, they're going to be motivated to get some revenge. Now, rounding out the first half of the season is a trip to Louisiana to take on the Warhawks at UL Monroe. Now the Panthers got to be careful, because this is what many would be to consider a trap game. The first 2 weeks prior to this one, Auburn and App State are going to be really intense. They're going to be, the Panthers are going to be amped up to play those two games. They're two really big games. And while you got to come to play every week, it's kind of hard to get up every single week when you play. So this has the potential to be a letdown. Now, with the experience that they have, it shouldn't be. Coach Ellis should have his team ready to go, but you just never know. UL Monroe is not as talented as the previous teams they're going to face. They have a new coach in Terry Bowden, who was at Clemson for the past 2 years, but he brought in a lot of guys via transfer portal to kind of get some fresh blood into the program. So if you're Georgia State, you have to be on high alert this week. You don't want to lose it, because you still have to go play Georgia Southern, to play Coastal Carolina, Gotta play Troy, and you gotta play Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. So you don't want to drop a game here that you can win and you should win when there are games in the future that you may lose. And depending on what happens against App State the week before, they lose this one. I mean, they're pretty much out of contention for Sun Belt Championship. So really important game for the Panthers here.